So for step 34, rear dampers 1, well, we're basically doing the same thing that we did for the front dampers. The only difference is these cylinder pieces are a lot larger, so we need to grab Y3, Y1, the O-rings, the piston rod, this X10 piece, which I will be replacing with an X9, which I'll talk about a little further into the step. And there are all of our pieces that we need. And of course our O-rings, E-clips, and our piston rods. So I'll set this up and we'll put these together. So as before, we're going to grab one of our rear piston rods and we're going to grab one of our E-clips. And again, what I like to do is put that onto the bottom one there, and you can sort of see it's in there. And then I'm going to use my finger to hold it up so that then I can grab the pliers and pop it into place. So that makes it easy because then it kind of helps prevent the E-clip from popping out. Now you can see the X10 piece has 3 holes. Well, I'm going to be using the X9, which has 2. And the reason for that is Joe from Joe vs. RC was talking about the fact that the rear dampers on the Hornet EVO seem to be a little soft. So this should actually mean that the shocks are a little stiffer because less oil is going to be able to flow up and down inside the main cylinder. Now he went with a harder oil as well. I'm not doing that. I'm going to stick with the oil that came in the kit. But just by changing this one thing, you should find that your rear dampers are a lot stiffer. So let's grab another E-clip here. And we're going to sit that on top. Grab our pliers. Snap that into place. And there we go. There is one of our piston rods ready to go. So you can see here, we need to now stick that into here. Now, I jumped the gun because I was talking about this, but what we need to first do is we need to oil up these O-rings. So I'm just going to put a dab on there, run it around with my fingers, and stick one in there, take another one, do the same thing. You oil these because it helps to keep the seal. So there's the second one, nicely inside there. I'm just going to wipe my hands from the oil, and now we're going to grab our Y1 piece and we're going to tighten this up. Now I like to go all the way and give it an extra little twist just to make sure that's on solid, and you can see the O-rings inside there. So that is done. So what do we need to do? We need to grab our shaft here, which you can see they're showing you oiling it up a bit, because it's going to go through those O-rings that we put in. And so you can see that is going to go down into the hole there and come out the other side. Now you can also see that we have an X11 piece that's got to go onto the piston rod, and then it's going to get screwed onto X1. Now let's just see if I can twist this on, which I can. Let's see how easy that can be. It's actually going on quite easy. Now it's getting harder because obviously the piston rod is full of oil. So what do we have to do? We need to make sure that this is 29.5. Now funnily enough, that's looking like it's pretty close to where it needs to be. Now I'm going to grab the shock pliers, back it off just a touch, we're going to go 29.5. Which actually looks correct. But I'm going to put it down here on here. And that is the 29.5. See, it's matching the diagram as well. So I'm okay with that. So that is one of our cylinders ready to go. So we're going to do the same thing with the other side. So let's just take our O-rings, do the same thing as we did before. And I'm going to do another one. Run it around with my hands. Yes, stick that down in there. Wipe my hands a minute. And we're going to take the Y1. And that's the thing about oil. As soon as you've got it on your hands, everything's slippy. But there we go. There is one cylinder ready to go. So we've got our piston rod. So again, I'm going to grab an E-clip, put it onto that bottom rung. Just so that it's sitting there. Use my finger to hold it up straight. Nope, I moved it. I don't have my fingers clean enough. I think everything's starting to slip, but there we go. One. Now we're going to grab this X9 piece with only the 2 holes. Then we're going to grab our E-clip again. Come on, sit down. There we go. And again. There we go. So there is our piston rod ready to go. So what do we need to do? We need to oil it up. There we go. We're going to slide that through the cylinder. Out the other end. We've got this X11 piece that's got to go on first. And then we've got X1. And again, I'm going to see if I can just hold that and spin it on. Yes, there we go. Sometimes they're a lot harder. So make sure you pull that all the way out. It's pretty close, but I will use the shock pliers this time. Hold it down. Just do a 1 turn. Turn that one more time. Yeah, 29.5. And just to sort of do a double check, I can see that from one end to the other, it's looked between the 29. Yeah, 20, you can see it there if you kind of match it up, the 29.5. But again, if you use the diagram, you don't need the ruler, and just match the ends, you're going to get to that 29.5. So that's fine. And you can see that if I hold these up close together, they're the same length. There we go. So those cylinders are finished. So that means step 34 is done. So we're going to move on to step 35 and fill these with oil.